Praise the Lord, greetings to all of you in the Master's name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Today I'm here to talk about the topic freedom. It's ironic because if we look at our country itself, India has the largest number of slaves in the world. Around 14 to 18 million people live as slaves in our country, which is a very sad thing because, you know, after all of these years after we got independence, people are still living in fear. People are still living under somebody else's wages. You know, so these kind of things still exist in our midst. But so all we can do is pray for them and help them out in whatever way we can. You see, if you ask the richest person in this country and if you ask a person who lives on daily wages about freedom, both of them will have a different take on the concept because both of them have different privileges in the society. And let's now keep this aside and let's talk about the freedom in Christ which we all have. I was going through a couple of sermons some days before, and this man of God that I listened to, he spoke some words that really spoke to me as well, and I would like to present it to you all also. So one thing he said was, when you ask God to free you from something, ask God to free you from the inside first. A lot of us will ask God to free us from the situation that we are in. But instead of that, ask God to free us from the inside. Because if you ask God to free you from the situation that you are in, the very next hour or the very next day, another situation will come in your life. But if you ask God to free you from the inside first, you will have the patience, you will have the kind of knowledge and understanding to tackle each and every situation that comes your way. Because that's how God sets you free from something. Amen. Another thing was, we need to remember the fact that nobody in this world, literally nobody in this world died for you and I. Only Jesus Christ did. And so when you ask God, God listens to you very patiently and He's ready to free you from whatever you're going through. Because He came into this world for each and every one of us, so that we may be saved from the inside and we may take gospel to other people as well. You see, when we go through the Bible, we read about certain people who have gone through extreme torture just because they stood up for Christ and just because they stood up for their faith among their people. One such example is Paul and Silas when they were put into the dungeon. You know what I'm talking about. They were arrested, they were tortured, and they were put up in the dungeon. And what they did was they prayed and they sang songs of praise. They prayed together. Two people in that entire prison, and God shook the very foundations of that prison. Just because two people who were free inside knew what they were doing, who knew God Himself, who knew that God Himself would come down and save them. All they did was they prayed and they sang, and the foundations of that prison shook. Another one was, which really touched me, was the incident of stoning of Stephen. When Stephen was being stoned in front of all those people in broad daylight, what did he do? He said to God, God, please do not hold them of their sin. Please do not charge them for this sin. This is what Stephen said. What I take from this is, because God freed him from the inside, he had the heart, he had the maturity to pray to God even in that moment, that God do not hold him for the sin, they do not know what to do. Right? So that is why it is important that we ask God to free us from the inside. Because if we are free from the inside, the way we look at the world, the way we look at the people around us will be very different. You know, Galatians 5 verses 13, it says, "For you, brethren, have been called to liberty. Only do not use liberty as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another." So, we need to understand that we are called and we are called for something greater, something that we may not understand right now. But when we are called, when we ask God that God, what should I do? What should I do next? God will free you from whatever you are facing. And that will enable you to love all those people around you in a way that nobody else does. That is what the freedom in Christ does to us. Right? The great man of God, William Barclay, he once said, Christian freedom does not mean being free to do as we like. It means being free to do as we ought. God is giving us specific instructions to follow by in this world. And nobody in this world can take that from you. Because God Himself has given them to you in order that you can follow them, and you can enable other people to follow them as well. So, see, you need to understand one thing, that freedom, as I said before, freedom is a different experience for each and every individual. That is why in the beginning I compared a rich man and a poor man, because we have different take on the concept of freedom. But we as Christians, God has given us a kind of freedom where we are truly free. Because when I say this, all that comes into my mind is the kind of atmosphere that we are in today, the kind of the world that we are living in right now. Do you think that we are really free? Do you think that we have the utmost freedom to do, to take the gospel out there, to believe in what we are called to believe in? Do you think we have that freedom? We don't. But we need to understand something, that God has called us for something greater. And when and so that is why I'm saying, when you ask God to free you from something, ask Him to free you from the inside, so that you can be really and truly free, and you can take the gospel to the next level. May God bless you all with His words.